Everyone knows about SML, or Super Mario Logan. It used to be a YouTube channel for kids back in 2007 to 2013 or so. Ever since recently, his videos had slowly got more for mature audiences, even showing some gore in some episodes. However, I had gotten a notification for a video that no one else seemed to know about. The experience I had was pretty scarring, because of the things I've witnessed in the video. It was a few weeks ago on a Tuesday night. I set my alarm for 9 a.m. the next morning because I wanted to wake up early, and not to sleep in like I usually do. It seems silly for me, but I wanted to get a head start for the morning hours. The thing is, my alarm actually went off in the middle of the night, about 3 a.m. I checked my phone and realized that it wasn't my alarm that woke me up, but a notification for a YouTube video. Specifically, it was from SML. It turns out it said in a Chili vlog that he would be uploading a video that night. He did say he was very excited to see what the fans thought of it. However, this was different. It didn't seem to be a normal SML video. The video itself titled the regular SML movie format, but the last words freaked me out the most. SML movie, Bowser Jr. or Junior.AVI. I suddenly got a huge urge to click on the video, so I did, and when I did, I immediately looked at the timestamp. Only 6 minutes? Obviously, it wasn't the shortest SML video, but the video led to SML movie, so I thought nothing of it. As I thought that it was probably just an error or something, the video started off like normal, with Chef Pee-Pee cooking terrible food for Bowser. Bowser Jr. then comes into the kitchen, immediately picks up a knife. Then the video froze. I got confused. Was this a glitch? I couldn't interact with the video, but I could scroll through the recommended section and the comments, but there were none. That piqued my curiosity. SML comment sections were usually not blank. Then I got an idea of the view count. It said 616 views. Maybe I thought maybe I was just very early. The YouTube app immediately crashed, so I reopened it, and what I first saw was terrifying. It appeared to be Bowser Jr. with long black tentacles, blank eyes, and claws that looked extremely sharp. The image had disappeared about a half a second. I then went looking for the video in the recommended section and saw a playlist labeled Favorite Junior Videos. It was clearly by a fan. When I clicked on the playlist, all I just saw was Bowser Junior.AVI on the list. It wasn't just that. All 26 of them were a single video. That I clicked, it resumed where I left off. The one thing I noticed was that the frame rate dropped a lot, about maybe 5 FPS. It was still on, with Junior holding the knife, but Chef Pee-Pee was clearly not moving, due to his routine for cooking for Bowser. Junior still wasn't moving. Then after a couple of seconds, it cut both to Chef Pee-Pee's hands on the ground. Then when the camera then picks back up, Chef Pee-Pee was dead. Junior was staring at this lifeless body for about maybe 15 seconds, then turned to the camera. I just checked to see how much of the video was left, and there was still around 3 minutes of that video. It couldn't been where Junior was just looking at the camera for that long. I scanned through the video, checking to see if there was anything else. Something realized that Junior was slowly moving towards the camera. When I went to the end to click on it for anything else, it was just an SML question read, if you ever had a knife, what would you do with it? Then I let go of the video and went back to where I was. YouTube obviously didn't usually do that. I tried to click on the video because I got extremely creeped out, but my phone wouldn't respond. The video just kept going. I was very scared at this point, so I tried not to think about it and tried to go to sleep. Eventually I did, and I woke up the next morning and checked my phone updates on the video. Something I immediately noticed that both Chili's vlog and the Junior.AVI video were gone. I tried to find any fan reactions when I researched the video, but I could only find topics unrelated to the video. Then I went back to check my notifications, and I saw that someone said screenshot captured. I tried to remember if that screenshot had anything from the video, and I facepalmed because that would have been a great idea. I then tried to look at the image, but it appeared to be broken. So I clicked on the notification, and there was Junior with black, long tentacles and claws. I then saved it to my computer to see if there was any meaning, but I couldn't find any at the moment. The photo creeped me out, and the image haunted me for the rest of my day. I didn't tell anyone about it, mainly because no one seemed to bring it up. So when I went to bed that night, moments before I went to sleep, I saw a silhouette of Bowser Jr. plush sitting on my windowsill. It was staring right at me. And that, my little pretties, was Bowser Junior.AVI, a SML creepypasta. My final thoughts on this story? Well, it's just about time that I actually sat there and got to this story. So, with that being the case, I'm gonna sit there and explain about this, story in the best way as possible. This story, on my opinion, wasn't great. Like, I mean, it, the fact of how everything went out, it just wasn't great. That's just me, though. I'm not trying to sound like a hypocrite or anything like that because of what was going on, but I could definitely say that the story wasn't that great, in my opinion. Now, I could respect your opinion if you like it, because, everyone has their own opinion. Like, if they like it, that's fine. If they don't like it, that's totally fine. So I can definitely say this right now, that this story wasn't that great. At least to me. Now, before, I get more into this, I've seen, a couple other people, sat there and narrated this story. Like, I remember the first one was, I believe the first one might have been Shadow Raider, because I remember before his old channel was terminated, he narrated Bowser Jr.AVI. Now, in my opinion, though, I wasn't really a fan of this story, and I'm just gonna be completely honest. I wasn't really a fan of it, so that's kind of why I've been kind of hesitant to sit there and narrate it. I was kind of hesitant to sit there and narrate this story because I wasn't really sure of it, but I'm just going to sit there and, kind of explain my thoughts. Now, this story wasn't great, in my opinion. Just thought, I'd say this. The story just wasn't great. Now, the grammar was alright. I can definitely give him, the person credit for, the grammar. The grammar was alright. There were just some punctuation errors in the story that does need to be fixed. And I believe there were like a few run-on sentences. So, yeah, that is actually one of the reasons why I kind of hesitant. But, the image right there kind of looked like it was, fan-made or something. I'm not really sure. But to be completely and utterly honest, and I have no idea. So, I've seen, I think when I first heard this from Shadow's channel, I kind of agreed with him. It wasn't that great. Like, the grammar was alright. It wasn't perfect, but it was alright for what it is. Does need to be polished up, though. Like, the paragraph structure was fine. That I can definitely say right here. So, I actually looked up. So, yeah. And in this story, I could definitely say that this story actually had pretty good, it did have somewhat potential, but it just didn't really work. Like, the one thing I could definitely say was that, the SML movie, it starts off with Chef Pee-Pee usually doing his own thing, but then Bowser Jr. comes into the kitchen, pick up the knife, and then froze. Now, usually it doesn't sit there and freeze unless the YouTube app, freezes for whatever reason or something. Like, at least maybe there should be at least a reason why that happened. There needs to be a good reason why the video froze. Like, maybe say, for example, that, the video is buffering or something. At least that would be, a good explanation to why that's happened. Not really sure. Or maybe YouTube took it down or something, anything about it would have been, somewhat believable. And then, the person, goes to, the YouTube app immediately crashed, which, okay, sometimes that does happen. And then when they look it up, they see, Bowser Jr. with tentacles and claws. Like, what? Like, why? I understand it's kind of like Photoshop, but I don't know why anyone would sit there. Like, why cause Junior to sit there and have, the tentacles and all that, but why? Like, there's no like reason why Junior, has that. Like, maybe if there's a good explanation to why Junior, had those, maybe that way it would have been more understandable. And then, he kills Chef Pee-Pee. Okay, then I kind of didn't expect that, but still. And then, the videos were gone. Most likely YouTube would have taken it down, but I don't really know. That I can definitely say that is quite possible, but there's no reason to why, the chili vlog or the Junior video was gone. There's like no explanation on that whatsoever. Like there was no explanation. Now, another thing I could definitely say was that the Junior plush sitting on my windowsill at the end. Oh, really? Like, why would you even include, a plushie at the end? Like, that's probably one of the most cliche things that's been in creepypastas. Like, take Sonic.exe for example. Sonic.exe used a plushie at the end. Like, the story itself then was cliched, but it did have believability up until the plushie part, which the plushie part, in my opinion, in Sonic.exe was very unnecessary, and it was not that great. Just being completely and utterly honest. So that is actually one of the main reasons, why the story ended up the way it did. So, yeah, that I'm just definitely, kind of saying that because, it just wasn't that great. I'm sorry, but, this wasn't that great in my opinion. Now, to be completely and utterly honest, I honestly just didn't, I just honestly didn't really care for this. This is actually one of the stories that I really didn't care for. But the story itself, it could have been, done better. But in all due sincerity, the story just wasn't that great. And I'm just being completely and utterly honest. But, to be fair, this is just my opinion. The story does need a rewrite. And I'm just saying that. Like, if I were to make the story better, I would have honestly sat there and, rewrite the entire thing. That's just to me, though. Not really, to be completely honest, but I could definitely say, now, this story was honestly not that great. And I'm just being completely honest, but, the story could have been, interesting for what it was. So, with that being the case, and with that being said, yeah, I could definitely say that this story did have some potential, but it just wasn't that great. Well, like, it kind of should have, have something, interesting, but unfortunately that's not the case with this story, and, it's very unfortunate. Now, I kind of already explained, this, so I'm going to sit there and, kind of wrap up the video. So, yeah, and like I'm going to say, and like I always continue to say, this is just simply my own personal opinion, and if you happen to disagree with me, that's fine too. We're all entitled to our own opinions in regards to these creepypastas, and this is just simply my own personal thoughts. My final rate of this story, I'm going to give this one a 2 out of 10. Only a 2 because the grammar was alright for what it is. It does need a little bit of polishing up. The paragraph structure was okay, and the beginning was alright for what it is, and it did have, somewhat potential, but it just fell miserably, and that's unfortunate. But, I'm not sure who the original author is, so it's just going to be anonymous for now, but if I do find out who the original author is, I'll be sure to give him or her proper credit. Yet again, I'm only doing these reviews to help people get better with their writing, so yeah. But, with that being the case, and with that being said, what did you guys think about this creepypasta? Did you all enjoy it? Did you not? Also, what have you have done personally to help make this story a lot better? Leave me know what your thoughts are down in the comments section down below. I'm the Queen of Lions. Thank you so much for watching today's episode, and if you happen to be brand new here on this channel, be sure to like, comment, and subscribe, because I make brand new videos every single day. Don't forget to ring the notification bell to when I upload so that you guys will not miss an upload. And as always, please roll the outro because I'm out.